A common question people often ask is that why we make young folks wake up at 4 am, 5 am, or 6 am, depending on where you live in Delhi winters, and write a test at 7 am in the morning. In this blog post, we will describe why we decided to this 7 am thing. In 2016, when we first started our offline academy, there was one core value we had at heart, that we will do things differently and help people who haven't found success find success. And we started with MGP. We got 84 people who knew us to join MGP 2016, and we promised we will do our best to get people an interview call, and 74 people did out of 86. In those days, getting an interview call was easier than now, and ways and means to achieve them were known by serial interview goers, many of them who were a part of the academy. So the next avenue for us to help young folks not clearing prelims, clear prelims. And from the first batch of MGP, there was one Mr. Prajit getting a rank 87 that year, sending us a message. Guys, from our group there is a certain girl. Her name is Meenal. She hasn't cleared prelims like 3 times. See if you can help her out. We got the young girl with an orange t-shirt to a near foundation course with us. But we knew that in the end, if kids don't study, in fact, if they don't train hard, they won't make it. And one of the jobs of an academy is to make her student work hard. And training is hard. No one likes it. Plus, they will give you a 1-star rating and write bad things on Quora or Reddit these days. But we gotta do what we gotta do, because the purpose is way more important than absolutely anything else. Even if it means a bad internet feedback, as long as we can help a few hundred people clear the damn exam. Just as we got started with this program, there was a ceiling activity in Delhi. We decided not to stop the program and went on to conduct the 7 am test in the park. We were helped by the students who had written mains and were appearing for the interview. As you can see in the picture, the person distributing copies would volunteer to do this work in return for support and guidance. He would go on to clear the exam, get IPS, then IAS the subsequent year. The first SFG would produce a few hundred success stories. Some of them are sitting in the picture shown. When uncles and aunts in the park protested because it disturbed their morning laughter therapy, we shifted to a building which now houses some major coaching including ours. The landlord had given it to us for 2 months until we found a new classroom, and once we occupied it, we never left. If the park was the 0th classroom for ForumIAS, this was classroom 1. We got chairs, some halogen bulbs from a tent wala so that the program would not be disrupted. Water would be sprinkled every morning so that dust would not be too much. At first, we asked a student to wear a mask. About 12 days later, SPM 2.5 pollution dawned on Delhi for the first time that year, and government advisory required people to wear a mask. As you can see in the picture, Thakur Bhaiya at 4 am before the class on January 2nd, making sure water is sprinkled on the floors and chairs are in the place for people to sit. We have always been the kind who tried hard, no matter how tough things are, even if things look impossible. And we were lucky to have students. The post-2000 born crowd hadn't come back then, who were willing to sit in the class while we built a floor around them. There was this family which stayed there making the floor while classes went on covered with curtains, with a baby that slept peacefully amidst all the classes, loudspeakers, and student gossips, noise, and whatnot. And built we did the floor and few hundred officers. About 6 months after doing what we do, we decided to put a board telling the world who we are. By that time, Anudeep Durishetty, our MGP student, would get a rank 1 and make us kind of famous outside the core crowd. The core means writing, interview, going crowd already knew us. We kinda expected the top 100 rank and he was like 1. As you can see in the picture, this is his DAF form from an old Google Photos. Some students have asked us why we don't have a board outside our new classroom above Kalyan Jewelers, even after 2 to 3 months now in New Delhi. Here is the reason. We will put a board when we will get a rank from that classroom. If you want to help, get a rank. And the girl in the orange t-shirt who slogged and wrote every single SFG test, she secured a rank 35 after flunking prelims every single times before, and wore the same orange t-shirt even when she got a rank. Here is an old video from the past. And the one reason why we decided to do it 7 a.m. because we had students who hadn't cleared prelims before. When we fail to see the brighter side of life. A certain negativity creeps in. We lose faith in ourselves. We lose faith in our mentors, coaches, and guides, and everything around us. In short, we lose hope. And life isn't much without hope. And the next thing we do is get surrounded by more negative and misery-loving people who will tell you to resign to your fates. Nothing works, nothing will ever work, and nothing will work particularly for you. Misery loves company of more miserable people. As an academy, we realized that for getting a student selected, teaching was less than half the thing. In fact, like 1/3. The other half is training them, making them work hard, and developing faith in their own capabilities in hard work. And sometimes because of certain kind of exposure. Imagine if you woke up at 4 a.m., studied 3 hours to write a test at 7 a.m. all alone, you would feel that you are a superhero and you are the only one working hard. But when you suddenly realize that sleep at 2 a.m. or wake up at 4 a.m. is normal, if you want to crack the mother of all exam, your new normals will help you set higher benchmarks. The 7 a.m. discipline is indispensable. We thought about it. If we allowed folks with past prelim failures to write tests at say 10 a.m., they would already be consumed by negative thoughts, sometimes by a negative roommate, sometimes by a toxic friend, or sometimes consumed by their own minds. That by 9:30 a.m. they would be sure nothing has worked for them so far and nothing will ever work, and they would never come to write the test. Worse, when they would walk down to ForumIAS, they would read posters like clear prelims or 100% refunds, clear prelims and get rich by getting 200% of fees. The kind of posters that only happened in MKN and not ORN until few years ago, which usually had a more aware crowd. They could be caught misdirected by one of these and lose their way. We built SFG around good competition, discipline, quality, and a studying environment. And we did it 7 a.m. so because we wanted prelims failed student to succeed the first thing in the morning, so that they succeed in the end. If you know someone who has not cleared prelims before and need help, you may share with them about SFG. Click the link below to know more about SFG and click the link to register for the entrance test. SFG is a merit-based program that works on inculcating good discipline, study ethics, and exposure to a highly competitive mainstream UPSC crowd. Previously selected candidates from SFG with prior unsuccessful attempts at prelims include rank 1 and rank 4 in CSC 2022 in top 5 ranks.